Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for this. I hope you're excited. It's been a little bit since we've done a full portfolio review, but hey, the portfolio's blooming lately, and we're about at the end of the year, so I think it's worth mentioning, worth going over how the portfolio has performed this year. Pretty important stuff. And we'll see every position, and I'll show you my cost basis on all of them as well. So I hope that's something you're interested in. So we'll go right ahead into it. So first off, beforehand, obviously we look at the 1-year chart. Important to do. See how the past year's been for me. And this portfolio over the past year, even with a major dip here, at one point down, upwards of 30% at one point. Yikes. Still up 37.92% this year. Really good stuff. There's a lot of good progress being made on this portfolio. And on top of that, we've also not only gained the $7,000, but we've also earned right around $550 in dividends as of November. It'll be close to $600 by the end of the year. So pretty nice to see. How we're going there. So we'll go right into the positions and see how we're doing here. Not a whole tremendous lot has changed since the others, just some boost to some positions. No real several new stocks, but if you're interested in this, let's get right on into it with a little bit of Apple Dapple, man. We love them. So Apple here, once this loads, pretty good stuff. Right now sitting at $125.72 a share. And again, remember this went through a split this year, so you need to consider that. So my average cost after the split went over to $45.24 per share, which overall I've got 21.06 shares. Some of those partial shares are obviously due to the split, but also partially due to reinvested dividends, so you need to consider that. This is 10.3% of the portfolio. Overall, total return on this one of $1,695, or 177%. Pretty nice. Should mention also on this portfolio, you got to mention it beforehand, since we got to go back anyways. All time up $10,252. Portfolio's been in place since 2017. Up 67% all time. We love that. Since 2017, July. So, hey, we love seeing that. So, Disney, right after them. So, Disney right now, sitting at a cost basis of $102.07. This did go up, if you might notice, because I did put some money into it just recently. 7.296 shares. It was just 7 shares, so I bought $50 worth. It wasn't crazy, but I do think there's a lot of upside for this. 4.8% of the portfolio, $495 or 66.5%. So I like Disney, and I think over the next few years, I'm going to like Disney even more. I'll just tell you that right now, baby. Facebook, I'm definitely down on some modern issues as far as congressional challenges, but, government, you know what they do. But average cost on Facebook of $167.49, 9.18 shares, 9.6% of the portfolio. Total return of $936.93, or 61%. Good stuff. I love Facebook. Still going to be holding it for the next 5 to 10 years. I think there's some great money to be made there. Microsoft, average cost per share is $92.93. Really nice. 4.36 shares at 3.6% of the portfolio. I'm up $521 or 128% all time on this position. I love to see that. And we have Cloudera, another tech company here. Sitting at an average cost basis of $7.90 with 15 shares. Just was my initial purchase when I got it. Overall, total return of $66.48, or 56% up, so good gains as far as that's concerned. Not a massive position, though. ABBV, love this one too. $72.42 per share. 4.4% 2.15 shares at 1.68% of the portfolio. $129.45 or 43% returns. Like to see the positive numbers there. Then we have Gilead. Here we're not going to see the positive numbers. Not what we're talking about here, but average share price of $70.28, 30.06 shares, 0.7% of the portfolio. It's not massive, but I am down $33 or 15.5%. So there's some negativity, there's negativity everywhere sometimes. And we have Ford. Ford average cost of $9.23. I've been lowering my average cost. It used to be over $10 a share. Can you believe that? Shoot. But we've got 70 shares, 2.47% of the portfolio. Total return down $14.43 or 2%. So we're almost at break even for this stock. And once they start repaying the dividend next year, be pretty excited for that because I think it could be some good stuff going on. We have New York Community Bank. Been here since the dawn of the portfolio. $10.69 per share. I've got 27.25 shares. 1% of the portfolio, down $13.27. But down 4.5% as a result. After dividends, I'm probably break even on this one. Probably positive. Actually, if we're thinking about over the last 3 years, but nothing too crazy. I don't know. I'm tired out of nowhere. Charles Schwab. This one game is obviously I had TD Ameritrade before, but due to a purchase, it got a little janky. Don't look at the average cost on this one because it is fricked. I can't lie to you. But if it was real, this would be dope, right? This would be pretty cool if I had a 28,000% gain. But I don't. So it was just my TD Ameritrade shares transferring over onto this. Nothing super crazy, but yeah, definitely not up 28,000%. I can just assure you of that one. Ooh. Then we have Target. Really proud of this position as well. Average cost of $91.39. 6.47 shares. 4.3% of the portfolio. Up $516 or 87%. Really like this one, and they pay a good dividend as well. Then we have Kohl's. Really happy with this as well. I can't lie to you. This one, I was pretty happy. I kept averaging down. At one point, this has been a wild. Just look at the 5-year chart on Kohl's. It's been wild. At one point, reached over $80. I was up, double my money here. But now we're still doing all right because it was at this point earlier this year down to $15 a share pretty much. But we're sitting at due to dollar cost averaging, averaged my share cost down there. Smart stuff. $25.82 per share, 16.1 shares at 2.4% of the portfolio. Total return of $202 or 48%, which is pretty impressive. And that's obviously they're not paying a dividend anymore, but once they start, we'll be pretty happy. TPR, same deal here. Tapestry, I lowered my cost basis on this one. I was also up double my money prior to pandemic, and then obviously you see as the last this year has been a devastation for this stock. Earlier this year, now setting up positive for the year, which is crazy to think about, but it reached down below $13 a share. So I have $17.24 a share, 22.8 shares. Good dividend payer when it does pay a dividend. Ideally next year, they mentioned. Up $278 or 70%. That's good. It's good for a freaking clothing company. Stitch Fix after them. Now here we go. I love this one too. You can't stop me with Stitch Fix. I was excited. I've been selling this one for a while, telling you to buy it. And you know why? $15.36 per share. 8 shares. Only the initial purchase that I made, but it is 2% of the portfolio. Just due to the gain for the most part. Up $385 or 313%. Really proud of this one. So, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this one. So good stuff for Stitch Fix. We're happy. And I don't know necessarily as far as selling it when I plan on doing that. I think this thing could go over $100 in the next few years. So I'm probably going to keep holding it though. Home Depot, also since the dawn of the portfolio. Average share cost of $159.69. 1.01 shares. That 0.01 shares only from dividend reinvestment. 1% of the portfolio, nothing crazy. Up $108 or 67%. Good, enjoy that for the last 3 years. It's been pretty nice. Coca-Cola after them. 45.10 per share. 7.34 shares, nothing crazy. 1.5% of the portfolio. Up 64, 62 or 19.5%. Again, consistent stock, but the dividend is what's nice about it. So that's a good reason to have it. It's a good rock to the portfolio. Starbucks, nothing mega crazy with Starbucks here. 52.73 per share. Only 2.03 shares, which is why it's not too crazy. But overall, total return is at $103.71 or 96.8% up. Good stuff. I don't know where the tiredness has come from. I'm just tired of not getting enough gains. That's my thing. We need more gains. Give me more. iRobot, happy with this one as well. 46.91 per share. 8 shares. Again, this is off my initial purchase. 2.4% of the portfolio, up $240 or 64%. Quality stuff all over this portfolio. What can you say? Micron, getting close to the point where I want to sell some Micron because we're at $45.19 per share. 10 shares, 2.84% of the portfolio, up $275 or 60.89. Cisco were at an average cost of $38.91. 5.3 shares at 0.93% of the portfolio. Total return sitting at up $28 or 13.8%. Nothing crazy. Good dividend payer with Cisco though too. Consistent company. Garmin, nothing crazy here. Just 1 share, $79.95 a share. Total return at $38.69 or 47.79%. So nothing too wild with Garmin. Like holding on to it though. Nothing too crazy either here with Analog Devices. $79.47 a share. 1.01 shares due to dividend reinvestment. And a total return of $65 or 81%. Really good return. Just not much in terms of value actually for that one. HP, right after them. Sitting at an average share cost of $17.82. 14.01 shares. 1.2% of the portfolio, up $81.33 or 32.5%. Pretty quality, if you ask me. After HP, you have Activision Blizzard, $56.78 per share. 2 shares total, 2.01 shares. Total return of $59 or 51.8%. Pretty good. Then we get into our real estate investment trust segment. 54.72 on Realty Income. The monthly dividend company. Really good stuff. Dividends huge on this one. 21.5 shares. That 0.5 shares is entirely through dividend reinvestment, which is pretty nice. 5% of the portfolio, up $135 or 11.5%, which is nice when you consider that's obviously 11.5% without the dividend included there. So then we have Iron Mountain, one I'm interested in buying more of for sure. Average share cost of $32.14, 32.78 shares, 3.7% of the portfolio, but I am down $101 or 9.65%. This one does pay a monster dividend, so I am actually positive when you take into account dividends, but still I'd like to see that capital gain go up there a little bit as well, and I think there's definitely potential for it. Then we have OHI, Omega Healthcare, 28.36 per share, 23.06 shares. Right now, $224 up, or $225 really, if you consider that. Up 34% is pretty nice for a company that also pays a monster dividend. And then we have ABR. Woo, really happy with ABR. Can't deny that one. Average share cost of $8.32, 74.4 shares. I am up $443 or 71.7%, and that's again a monster dividend on this company as well. Is pretty darn nice. I love every time they pay it. I love it. APLE, disappointing one obviously, but we've done some dollar cost averaging, gotten it a little bit better. The dividend's not quite reinstated yet, but probably next year. $14.23 per share, 65.6 shares, down $78.44 or 8.4%. Not positive, but we will be once they reinstate that dividend. I'll be quite excited. Investors will flock to it, and we'll be in the green. ARI, average share cost of $11.01, 63.6 shares. Monster dividend on this one too, up $36.68 or 5.23%. Dividend still really nice on that one, and I'm pretty confident in it. So really good stuff. NRZ, new residential investment. Average cost of $9.98, 33.7 shares, down $19.25 or 5.7%. Again, dividends working its way back up with this company as well, so I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm not too upset about it because the dividend potential. Prospect Capital, pretty nice as well. $5.77 average share cost, 43.6 shares. Down $11.88 or 4.7%. This company does pay 6 cents per share per month, so you do have to consider that as well. Pretty nice to see those dividends every single month. Then we get into our real estate investment. Get me out of here. I was joking. We get into the ETF segment. We have SPHD, the Spider High Dividend Fund, 9.63 shares. SPYG, the SP 500 Growth Fund, 3.01 shares. SPYD, 6.92 shares, another high dividend fund. KBWD, which tracks financials. KBWY tracks real estate companies. KBWD, we've got 34.69, and KBWY, 26.8 shares. DIV, another dividend fund, 11.04. DES, small cap dividend fund, 2.04. SNSR, which is the Internet of Things ETF, we've just got one share of that one. NEO, we're back into real positions here, okay? NEO, really proud of this one, obviously. One I've been selling for a while. Average share cost of $2.07, up. I have 25 shares right now, up $1,029 or 2,000%. Again, I botched this one pretty hard. I did have 100 shares prior, so I could have been up, $3,000 more dollars, and that's obviously something pretty upsetting to me. But sometimes you make bad choices. I'm glad I chose to hold on to 25 shares. Sold 75 of them out when I was around an 800% gain, and turns out I could have boosted that up, another twice that value. Yeah, it's okay though. We make mistakes. That's the main point, and I'll tell you about those mistakes. I'm not gonna hide them. Then we have Watt, my other, or Energis, my other spec stock. Not doing great right now. $2.79 per share, 75 shares. I'm probably gonna boost this to 100 shortly, and just let it sit there. Total return down $74.94 or 35% down. I'm not too excited about this one. I mean, I think in the future it could be really cool with their new age Bluetooth connectivity, and wireless charging nonsense. I mean, this is a ridiculously cool company as far as the material they produce. Finally, we have New Age Beverages. Now just New Age. We have obviously broken on this one, 175 shares, but since they're merged with a couple different companies, they switched to just New Age instead of New Age Beverages because now they're more than just drinks. They do healthcare products, stuff like that. So my true average share cost is right around $2.70, somewhere around there. So I'm right at cost basis for the most part. We were above for a little bit here. I was pretty happy with that. We reached up to 340. I was like, let's go. But in this scenario, it thinks I'm up, just everything is gained. But that's not necessarily the case. So that is my portfolio, my Robinhood portfolio. I'll be covering the M1 a little bit later. So I hope you enjoyed this and you had a great time. But if you have any questions, let me know.